All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. So today we're doing a deep dive into Toshi, this meme coin that's been really making some noise lately. We've got a whole bunch of sources lined up for this one. News articles, market analyses, even a guide for our listeners in the US who might be thinking about buying some. And by the end of this deep dive, you should have a really good grasp of what makes Toshi tick, why it's been attracting attention, and what its future might hold.
You know what's really interesting to me is that Toshi is not just some random meme coin riding the coattails of hype. It's really embedded in the Base network,
right?
Which, as you know, is a layer 2 solution for Ethereum that's incubated by Coinbase. And that connection to Base seems to be giving Toshi some serious momentum.
Right. Okay. So for our listeners who haven't encountered Toshi yet, let's start with the basics. It is, in fact, a meme coin, and it's got this kind of playful name, combines Brian Armstrong's cat, and, of course, the legendary Satoshi Nakamoto. But it sounds like there's actually some serious stuff happening beneath the surface here.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Coinbase International Exchange just recently announced that they're going to be listing Toshi perpetual futures contracts. Now, for those who might not be familiar with perpetual futures, they're essentially contracts that don't have an expiry date. And this is a pretty big deal because it allows for leveraged trading.
Leveraged trading. That sounds kind of like playing with fire a little bit. What are the implications there?
Yeah, you're not wrong. It can be risky. With leverage, you can amplify your gains, but you also, of course, amplify your potential losses. So it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Let's put it that way. But the fact that Coinbase, a major player in the crypto world, is listing Toshi futures, it really says a lot about the growing legitimacy of this meme coin. And this move could potentially attract institutional investors who, have typically stayed away from this asset class. And that could have a huge impact on Toshi's price.
So it sounds like we're not just talking about a pump and dump scheme here. There's a real possibility for sustained growth.
That's right. And we're already seeing this reflected in the market's reaction to the Coinbase news. Immediately after the announcement, blockchain.news reported that Toshi's price jumped 12%. Going from 80.00000037 to 0.000042. And all that happened in just the first hour.
12% in an hour. Wow. That's the kind of volatility that makes even seasoned traders sweat a little bit. But I'm guessing that wasn't the end of the story.
No, not even close. The Daily Hodler reported that 2A surged even higher, reaching 0.0004847. But as with many meme coins, the price has been pretty volatile, and it did experience a correction afterwards.
Yeah, that roller coaster ride must have been pretty intense for anyone holding Toshi at the time. It's a good reminder that meme coins are incredibly volatile, and you really shouldn't invest more than you can afford to lose.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's crucial to approach this with a level head and a clear understanding of the risks involved. But even with that correction, Toshi is still performing extremely well. In fact, CoinGecko lists Toshi as outperforming not only the global cryptocurrency market, but also other similar meme coins with a price increase of 22.0% in the last 7 days.
Okay, so there's clearly something beyond the initial hype driving this sustained interest in Toshi. And I'm wondering, could this be connected to the fact that it's part of this Base ecosystem?
Yeah, that's a very good point. And, remember, Base is a layer 2 network for Ethereum. It's kind of like an express lane built on top of the Ethereum highway, designed to make transactions faster and cheaper. And we're seeing a huge increase in both volume and fees on decentralized exchanges, or DEXs, that are built on Base. And that tells us there's a growing user base and increasing demand.
Right. And for our listeners who might not be as familiar with DEXs, can you quickly explain what they are and why this growth on Base is so significant?
Sure. Decentralized exchanges are basically marketplaces that operate entirely on blockchain technology. Without any central authority controlling them, they allow users to trade cryptocurrencies directly with each other, cutting out the middleman. So the increasing activity on Base's DEXs suggests that the whole ecosystem is really thriving. And that's good news for projects like Toshi that are built on it.
Ah, I see. So Toshi's success is tied to the overall growth of the Base network. It's almost like a symbiotic relationship.
Precisely. As more and more users join the Base network, and as more applications are built on it, the demand for Toshi could potentially increase, driving its value even higher.
Now, this is where it gets interesting for folks who might be thinking about getting in on the action. We actually came across a guide specifically for U.S. residents who are looking to buy Toshi. What are some of the key takeaways from that guide?
Well, the first and most important thing is to choose a reputable exchange. You don't want to end up on some shady platform that can disappear with your funds. The guide specifically mentions Coinbase, Binance.us, Kraken, and Gemini as reliable options.
Right. Makes sense. Security should always be a top priority when dealing with crypto.
Absolutely. Make sure you're using a secure wallet to store your Toshi. And be very wary of any phishing attempts or scams. The crypto world can be a little bit like the Wild West sometimes, so it pays to be vigilant.
Okay, so we've covered what 2AI is, how it's connected to this Base network, the Coinbase listing and its impact on the market, and even how to buy it safely. But I think there's a bigger question here, isn't there? This whole meme coin phenomenon. Is it just a flash in the pan, or is it a sign of something more profound happening in the crypto space?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. It's one that we'll be exploring further in the next part of our deep dive. We'll look at different perspectives on the future of meme coins, the role of community in their success, and what it all means for the future of finance.
Sounds good. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after a short break. To continue our exploration of Toshi in this fascinating world of meme coins. Okay, so we're back and ready to continue our deep dive into Toshi and this whole world of meme coins. Before the break, we were talking about the potential of Toshi and how it's really tied to the growth of this Base network. But I'm curious, is Toshi's success solely dependent on Base, or are there other factors at play here?
That's a great question. While the Base ecosystem definitely plays a big role in Toshi's journey, it's not the only factor. Remember, meme coins often thrive on community enthusiasm and speculation. Toshi's playful name and its connection to Brian Armstrong's cat has definitely captured people's imaginations.
Yeah, for sure. It's almost like the perfect storm, right? A catchy name, a thriving ecosystem, and the backing of a major exchange like Coinbase. No wonder people are taking notice.
Exactly. And let's not forget the power of these online communities. Meme coins often gain traction through social media, forums, online discussions. Toshi seems to have tapped into that collective energy, and it's created a real buzz, a buzz that's driving its popularity.
It's fascinating how these online communities can have such a big influence on the market, sometimes even more than traditional financial institutions, it seems. But with all this hype and speculation, how do we even begin to separate the noise from the real potential when we talk about meme coins like Toshi?
Well, that's where critical analysis comes in. We really need to look beyond the memes and the price fluctuations and ask ourselves some tough questions like, what problem does this meme coin actually solve? Does it have any real-world utility? Or is it purely driven by speculation?
Right. Yeah. Those are important questions to ask because, the crypto space, it's littered with projects that promise the moon and then ended up crashing and burning.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so important to be cautious and to do your own research before investing in any cryptocurrency, especially meme coins. But, while some meme coins might be purely speculative, others are finding ways to integrate themselves into existing ecosystems and offer tangible benefits.
Okay, so is Toshi one of those meme coins? One that could potentially transcend its meme status and become something more?
Well, that's what makes Toshi so interesting, right?
Yeah.
Its connection to the Base network gives it a certain level of credibility and utility that many other meme coins simply don't have.
I see. So if Base continues to grow and attract more users and developers, Toshi could potentially become a real key player in that ecosystem. It's kind of like a small fish in a pond that's about to become an ocean.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And it's worth noting that the Base network is designed to be really user-friendly and accessible, which could further boost Toshi's adoption.
So, for those out there who might be skeptical of meme coins in general, Toshi seems to offer a more compelling case than most. It's got that meme factor, sure, but it's also backed by this solid network and has the potential for real-world use cases.
That's right, and that's why it's so important to stay informed and to keep an open mind. When you're exploring this crypto space, sometimes the most unexpected projects can really surprise you with their potential.
Okay, so we've talked about Toshi's connection to Base, the power of these online communities, and the need for critical analysis when evaluating these meme coins. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the bigger picture, the philosophical implications of this whole meme coin phenomenon.
You mean the idea that internet memes and cat pictures can potentially influence the world of finance?
Exactly. It's almost surreal to think about that something as seemingly trivial as a meme coin could challenge our whole understanding of value and investment.
It certainly makes you question the established order, doesn't it? We're seeing a real shift in power from these traditional financial institutions to decentralized networks.
Yeah.
And online communities.
Yeah, and meme coins. With their playful nature and their ability to go viral, they're really at the forefront of this shift. It's like they're turning the financial world upside down.
It's like a fascinating social experiment. Watching how these meme coins evolve and how they interact with the traditional financial system.
Yeah, it's like we're witnessing the birth of a new financial paradigm where value is determined by community sentiment and online trends rather than by traditional metrics.
And the implications of this shift are huge. It could lead to a more inclusive and accessible financial system where anyone with an internet connection can participate.
But it also raises some concerns, right? Concerns about volatility, speculation, the potential for manipulation. It's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Oh, absolutely. It's a brave new world out there. And we're all still figuring out the rules of the game.
So while Toshi might just be one small piece of the puzzle, it's a fascinating window into this evolving landscape. A reminder that the crypto world is constantly changing and that we need to be adaptable and open to new possibilities.
Yeah, and that's what makes this whole deep dive so intriguing. We're not just learning about a specific meme coin. We're exploring these broader trends and the forces that are shaping the future of finance.
All right, so before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, let's take a moment to reflect. What are your thoughts on these philosophical implications of meme coins? Do you see them as a disruptive force for good or a potential threat to the financial system as we know it? We'd love to hear your perspectives. All right, welcome back, everyone, for the final part of our deep dive on Toshi. It's been quite a journey so far. Wouldn't you say?
It really has. You know, we've gone from these quirky origins to the Coinbase listing, and then all the way to, you know, the potential impact of meme coins on the future of finance.
Yeah, it's amazing how a deep dive into just one meme coin can lead to so many different avenues of thought. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, what were some of the most striking insights that you gathered from all the research we did for this episode?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me was just the sheer range of opinions surrounding Toshi and meme coins in general, you know.
Yeah.
You have some experts dismissing them as just a passing fad, while others see them as this revolutionary force that could democratize finance.
Yeah, that's true. The spectrum of perspectives is pretty incredible. I was really struck by an article I read in the Crypto Journal that argued that meme coins are actually forcing traditional financial institutions to take notice and adapt. It's like they're shaking things up from the outside.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. It really speaks to how unpredictable the crypto space can be. I mean, who would have thought just a few years ago that a meme coin could potentially disrupt the entire financial world?
Right. It's like a David versus Goliath story, but with David armed with memes and cat pictures.
Exactly. And don't forget, a whole army of passionate supporters. That's another key takeaway from all of this. The power of these online communities. They're the driving force behind so many meme coins.
Yeah.
Including Toshi. You know, they create the buzz, they spread the word, and ultimately they really do influence the market.
They're almost like they're forming their own decentralized financial ecosystem, fueled by this shared enthusiasm and a belief in the power of these digital assets.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole phenomenon so fascinating and so unpredictable. It reminds us that we're still in the very early stages of this crypto revolution.
And the rules are still being written.
So where does Toshi fit into all of this? What's its potential long-term impact, do you think?
Well, I think Toshi has a unique advantage because it's not just riding this meme wave, it's actually integrated into the Base network, which, as we've discussed, has the potential to become a major player in DeFi. So Base continues to grow and attract more users. Toshi could become a really important part of that ecosystem.
So it's not just a meme, it's a meme with a mission. Yeah, you could say that. And its success will depend on a couple of things. Its ability to maintain that meme status and that community support, of course, but also on the growth and adoption of the piece.
It's like a double bet then. You're betting on the meme.
Yeah.
And you're betting on the underlying technology.
Exactly. And that makes Toshi a really fascinating case study for anyone who's interested in how memes, community, and decentralized finance all intersect.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Toshi has given us a lot to think about. It's a reminder that in the crypto world, anything is possible. A meme coin can turn into a serious investment. Online communities can drive market trends. And the future of finance is always evolving in these unexpected ways.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
To wrap up this deep dive, we'll leave you with this final thought. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep an open mind. The crypto world is full of surprises. And who knows, maybe the next big thing will be inspired by a cat meme.
Thanks for listening, everyone.